Buenos dias and bienvenidos. This is our second attempt at this presentation. We're travelling overland from Mexico City to Merida. Eventually we'll get there in 2 or 3 webinars. And so today we're going to talk about leaving Mexico and driving down about an hour or 2 away to Puebla, stopping there overnight and then continuing to one of my favourite places, Oaxaca. Been doing this for a long time. My first trip to Mexico was back in 1975 when we drove overland camping tours through Mexico down to Panama, and then we continued from Bogota to Rio. Out of that, evolved in the 1980 Contours Travel Conventional Tours. All of our staff have been to Mexico and love selling. So Mexico City is the capital. Obviously, there's about 118 million people in Mexico. We don't need any visas. As you know, it's famous for like tequilas, mariachi bands, and lucha libre. That's that masked wrestling, Day of the Dead celebrations, 1st and 2nd November, little puppies, chihuahuas. Ruins, ancient cultures, Aztecs, Mayans, great destination, lots to do and see. Anytime's a good time to travel overseas. That's the way we're supposed to answer. Up to Los Angeles or via Santiago, air passes, lots of opportunities and competitive airfares into Mexico City and to start serious touring. Mexican pesos worth about 15 pesos to the dollar, so it's pretty good value at the moment. Last time I was there, I measured things by cups of coffee, and the coffee was around $2.50 for a nice espresso. So Mexico City, we did that a couple of weeks ago, and I love the colonial parts of Mexico, starting in Guadalajara, Guanajuato, Morelia, San Miguel de Allende. So today, the colonial city of Puebla and Oaxaca. And to help me today, I have Anna from our office, who's Mexican, and she helps us with all these particular areas. And she lived and studied in Puebla for quite a number of years. So she's now going to take over and talk about her favourite little city. This is Anna.
Hello everybody, this is Anna. Nice to meet you all. So as you can see here in these amazing pictures, we have in your journey from Mexico City to Puebla, you're going to see these landscapes are very, very beautiful. You can see the Popocatépetl and the Iztaccíhuatl, which are 2 volcanoes. One of them is active, the other one is not. And they are known in Mexico as the sleeping lovers. So these are the views you can see from the highway when you go from Mexico City to Puebla. And here, over here, we have a pyramid. It's a very big pyramid. I will talk about it later. And on top of it has a church. It's the Church of Cholula, one of the main churches of Cholula. And it's such a beautiful landscape. So the first stop on your trip to Puebla is Cholula, as I said. And well, Cholula is known for having 128 churches and 365 chapels. So it's a very religious town. It's a big city. And it's just next to Puebla City, so it will take you like 10 minutes to go from one to the other. And this Cholula was a major center for religious pilgrimage. So it started around the 3rd century before Christ, and well, it has been very important since then. Obviously, it has its origins in the Olmec Xicalaca, and then also used by the Toltecas, Chichimecas. And well, it's one of the, well, actually it's the largest pyramid known to exist in the world today. So as you can see here, it's so big. You can't really see it on this picture before because everything is under the ground still. So there has been a little excavations on the one side. So this is how you normally see it. And here you have the church that obviously the Spanish built afterwards to keep an eye on the indigenous civilizations when they arrived to Mexico. So as you can see here, there's a lot of, the pyramid started before, a long time ago, they started to build this part, and then they built on it and on it, on top of it. So this is only the part that we can see. So as you can see, it's one of the biggest in the world. I think it's even bigger than the ones we have, well, yeah, they have in Egypt. It also, you can go into the pyramid, and it has 13 kilometers of tunnels. So these are the tunnels. And well, it's huge. Inside the pyramid, you have these murals. These are mural is known as the drinkers, and basically are gods drinking the beverage of the gods, which is pulque. If you're there, you have to try pulque. It's an interesting beverage, but it's alcoholic.
Or tequila.
Or tequila, yeah. Oh, well, since we're going to Oaxaca, try mezcal. Mezcal is an amazing drink as well. So then we head into Puebla, and Puebla is known for, the city center is UNESCO site, and it's very beautiful. All the buildings are colonial. And it's also known for Talavera. So the Talavera, you can find Talavera everywhere. There's a lot of shops and factories. And basically it's a type of Mariolica pottery, and it's distinguished by a white glaze decorated with blue, but also they use other colors, as you can see in the pictures. And you can see them in like crafts and dishes.
Lots of shops.
Lots of shops.
And then some of them have a little factories at the back of the shops where you can see them being manufactured.
And it's a very interesting thing to see.
It is.
I think.
Love it.
You can see also the walls of the buildings as well, full of Talavera.
Tiles,
exactly. So it's a beautiful craft you can buy and get your loved ones as a souvenir. And also, well, in the city center, there's the cathedral. So this cathedral is one of the most important sites in the colonial history of Mexico, basically because Puebla is just in the middle of both coasts, the Pacific Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico. So it was a very important trade region, so that's why the Spanish built Puebla City. Puebla City was built in order to keep an eye on Cholula, which is the major important indigenous religious site. So yeah, the construction started in 1536, and it continued. It's very beautiful. It's also known as the City of Angels in Mexico, Puebla. So as you can see in the map in Puebla's city center, this is the city center. You can find all the major attractions in the city. The library, the Palafox Library, which is very important as well, and the museums, the cathedral, and then over here to the north, it's Cholula City, so it's very near. It's, yeah, as I say, like
10,
yeah.
Depending on the traffic.
Exactly. Yeah. It's very near, so it's quite easy to get from one to the other. And well, as any other colonial heritage, we have the Zócalo. It's very lively, a lot of concerts, obviously people enjoying themselves and their family times, quality times with family, balloons, color. It's very beautiful, the Zócalo. And also in the city center, as I said, is UNESCO site, so all the buildings are impressive. The mayor right now is taking a lot of care in the city and the state, so there's a lot of infrastructure arrangements, and it's beautiful. It's a lovely city. So also a little bit down in downtown Puebla, you have the Parian Market, which is a street with little shops. It's very, very nice, as you can see here. This is a night shot, that's why it's everything shot. But it's so beautiful, and you have all the souvenirs you can imagine from Puebla.
From around Mexico, actually,
yeah.
Being sold here. So you don't have to travel far if you're looking for souvenirs. So it's a great little area to wander around in, and like any colonial city, great little spots to visit, and cafes and little bars and live music at the end. At the end of this particular corridor down there, there's a little plaza area and 2 or 3 coffee cafe type restaurants, and there's musicians. So every time I've been there, there's somebody playing something. It's just great.
Yeah, a lot of troubadours.
Yeah.
Troubadours and yeah, artists painting their paintings, and it's very beautiful. It's very, very lively. Also in the city center, I highly recommend this museum, Museo Amparo. And the museum Amparo has a permanent collection that traces Mexico's development over the history. So it's one of the most important collections of pre-Hispanic, colonial, and modern art in Mexico. Also, it's been remodeled, so you can see the front part is quite typical colonial, but on the upper side they have built this amazing rooftop, and they have a restaurant and a coffee shop. It's beautiful. So yeah, it will take you a while to go through the museum, but it's definitely worth it. And obviously, food.
Food, yeah.
This is traditional food in Puebla. You will find them These two are street food, but they're very good. So sopes, or memelas as we call them, and semita, which is also you can only find them in Puebla. And this is a very special dish. It's chiles en nogada, which is a poblano chili with a cream of macadamia and nuts sauce. It's only seasonal, so if you're there when it's in season, please go ahead and enjoy it for me, because I'm quite far away. And obviously the traditional Puebla candy, which are delicious, and you can see them everywhere in the Parian. And if you're in the city center, don't miss out on having a pasita, which is a very traditional drink. It's a liquor based in served with dried fruit and cheese, and it's traditionally handmade. So, yeah.
Accommodation, yeah. So these are some of the hotels that we use along the way. And again, every colonial city that we've been through or use or sell has got these beautiful old buildings that are converted into hotels. Little squares in the middle of the hotel, like a little plaza to relax in or have breakfast, or just at the end of the day a nice cool drink as you wander around. So lots of lovely choices of accommodation, and that's for your clients to enjoy. So the next part of the tour, we're heading down now. This is going to be a continuous story from Mexico to the Yucatan Peninsula. And so we're talking about a private tour from Mexico to Puebla, staying overnight, and the next day we put clients on the public bus and we head down, which is about 4 hours away, to Oaxaca. And this works just like being picked up at the airport and transferred. So instead of the airport, the bus terminuses in Puebla and Oaxaca are used. Tickets are pre-purchased, and then the 5-star deluxe buses. We don't use or sell the chicken buses, although we can put somebody on it if you wish. This is a shot of the ADO bus systems that we use and have. So we arrive in beautiful Oaxaca. As I said, I'm a bit biased to all this. I've been there 4 or 5 times now. I just love wandering around. And again, the Zocalo, everything has a Zocalo. In South America they call Plaza de Armas, and from there expand into the countryside and things to do. Ruins like Monte Alban, the Mitla ruins, and the valley where we do the weaving, so we'll see that in a minute later on. I love the plazas and the Zocolos, and as I said, you can hang around and watch the world go by. Great food, great drinks, lively music performances day and night, and just a pleasure to wander around in. But there's the Zocalo. There's a great market here to wander around. It's a covered market. The food and the stuffs and the items, and anything from jewellery to butchers are found in there. And there's a pedestrian walkway all the way to the Santo Domingo church, cathedral, and a museum. So everything revolves in here. 2 or 3 days. Great hotels again, cooking classes. Just a pleasure to get lost in this particular area. And again, every time I've been here, there's always some sort of activity, festivity going on. Folkloric dancing, conventional dancing, and all street musicians performing in there. So lots of great colour, easy to walk in, festivities, fiestas, and holiday specials are on also. At that other end is this, imagine the Santo Domingo. Order built this quite a long time ago. It's now a museum and did house nuns and priests, if you like, who went out and preached the gospel out into the fields. It's also got one of these amazing cactus. So if you've got somebody interested in flora, this is a place to go and examine the cactus gardens in the different areas from the countryside. Great museum, pieces like this. This was a jade mask, the Zapotecas were here that we found in this particular area. And so we'll visit the ruins outside. This is Monte Alban, which is set on the mountain, and Oaxaca's down here in the valley below. It's about a 30-minute drive, a beautiful drive, and it was a strategic sort of setting, a huge area covering quite a bit, and there's pyramids and ball courts. I think these are the ball courts here, and offerings, sacrificial offerings were sort of held in this area, and it's a beautiful valley there, Oaxaca, all around this strategic points. So these are the civilization called the Zapotecas. On the other, it takes about an hour or more to get through this particular area. On the other side of the city is the ruins of Mitla, with the church cathedral built in and around the ruins. They're quite small, but a completely different architecture and the different murals that you have here. And these were the Zapotecas and the Mixtecs. So all these civilizations were pre the Mayans and the Aztecs, and out of that, the same sort of thing happened in the Incas. The Incas, Aztecs, and Mayans were the last sort of civilizations, and as the conquistadors came along, 1,000 or 2,000 years before them, there were a whole lot of other civilizations that evolved to what we know now. And that's another story. Some beautiful sightseeing along the way, and this is the famous Tule tree. This is reputed to be over 2,000 years old. So when I first saw it 42 years ago, obviously now 2,042 years, it's 58 metres high and 42 metres high, and the gross 58 in its sort of size. The diameter is about 14 metres. So it's just a magnificent piece of a tree, if you like. It's just so impressive. There's a fence all around it that's guarded now, and it's got a sister or brother tree over here. That's on the way to the Mitla ruins, and they're just lovely country, so just a small little town. The other things that happen in Oaxaca, apart good food and eating and drinking, is this: they're famous for the alabrijas. These are little wooden animals that started off in the copal tree. The dads who were shepherds out in the fields minding their goats and their sheep, were bored. Evidently, this is a story going back 40, 50 years ago, and they started whittling this bits of the tree. They brought it home, the kids started painting them, and that evolved into what we've got today is just some magnificent sculptures and art. It's just brilliant. And some of these pieces are found in all sorts of museums all around the world. They're so just fabulous. And imagination just the only thing that holds them back. The other thing, there's black pottery. In Puebla we saw a different type of pottery because of the clay, and here in this area they have this black because of the clay. So lots of nice things. The weaving in the Valley of Teotitlan. These operate out of homes. There's big homes, and they run these weaving looms, yeah. And the family run it, and you see them working, and they show you how, and it's all natural colour, and you sit there for a while and they explain how it all works, and you can buy these tapetas or little carpet pieces, if you like, and they're very big or small. Just lovely colours, and still made in a very traditional way. Of course, markets around the place. On different days there's different markets in the villages, as that's a sort of tradition that's been going on for hundreds of years. Once a week they would gather and they would barter with the animals, the fruit and the plants that they had, and also some more ruins and nearby. So this is all happening around the area. So if you've got clients that are specifically interested in food and cooking lessons, this is the place. And we recommend at least 7 nights, 8 days in this particular area. You can fly into Oaxaca, you can travel overland if you like, or continue. So, for example, fly from Mexico to Oaxaca, and Oaxaca continue on to Merida. But specifically for history, culture, markets, cooking classes, this is the place. And it's just a very pleasant area. Remember, I'm biased. I always stay in this particular hotel. I just love the courtyard and the feel of it, and it's just around the corner from the plaza, the main plaza, walking distance. There's an old converted convent into a hotel now. They've got 2 or 3 little plazas around there. It takes up a whole block, so lots of great history, a little pool in that particular area. So accommodation, anything from 3 to 5-star boutique hotels in Oaxaca, and stay as long as you can. Food, definitely go there for the food, because you get anything from tequilas and, what's this one called again? Gotcha.
Sorry.
And grasshoppers. Toasted, of course.
Tejate, sorry.
Sorry again?
Tejate.
Tejate. It's a soup?
No, it's a drink, a corn-based drink.
Corn-based drink, yeah.
To try.
just a local speciality. Oaxaca is also famous for the mole. Now you probably might find that in one or two good Mexican restaurants in Australia. Mole is a sauce, and it's made up of chocolate and or chilies, and depending on the base, and so usually because the meat is usually chicken or a vegetarian sort of dish, if you like, and so it's made up of chocolates and other area things like yellow, what's that made of? Pumpkin seeds, the black corn from there, and the hotness or the mild is depending on the amount of chocolate and the amount of peppers that they have. So it's a very heavy dish, but it's made for special occasions. And you actually, a cooking class will be involving. They'll show you how to do all this with your clients. But this is the whole area of Oaxaca is famous for this particular mole. So after you finish that, we continue on down through to our next destination, which is going to be San Cristobal Las Casas in here in the Chiapas area. So just a reminder of what we do. We operate tours from anything from Copper Canyon all the way down to Ushuaia, and of course we do the Antarctic Peninsula. So whether you want 3, 4 or 5 stars, when you travel overland by bus or fly around, we can help you with air passes, construct. Your job is to find out what the client would like to do, how they would like to do it, and we can put it together for you. Now, we're going to finish off, we've been doing this since 1975. All of us have been there to Mexico in one shape or the other. We have an amazing pre-departure kit that goes on for lots of pages and information. We have backup of 24 hours for your clients. We just got a beautiful report this morning from somebody who travelled in Santiago, which just complimented one of the staff and the services on the ground. We've been working with our tour operators for over 30 years in some cases. So we rely on them, and we can guarantee our services because they provide such a great service on the ground to look after your clients. So that's why we'd like you. So what's our question? What are the 2 main ingredients for the mole? Okay, that way. And we're going to have a little, the other thing that happens in June in Oaxaca is this incredible colourful festival, and it's called Guelaguetza.
Yeah.
Guetza. And this is a 2 or 3 days of singing, dancing, parade, magnificent costumes. So if you've got people that love folkloric type of dancing costumes, this is the place. July. It's like a Thanksgiving harvest time, and that's the celebration here. In Cusco, they had the Interraimi about the 21st of June. So this is the same sort of idea. Now, if you've got any questions, please flick them, or we'll
send it to our email if you like.
Or send us an email, or we can help you with a quote. Any questions at all, feel free to give us a call so we can help you get that booking. Thank you very much for your time.
And also, we just left you in the chat a link to a video of the Guelaguetza if you want to enjoy about 3 minutes of the Guelaguetza festival. Yeah, that's it.
They click on that and
they can see it.
Yeah.
So if you see in the chat here in the webinar, you'll be able to see the video over there linked. So yeah, I hope you enjoy
terrific.
it.
Thank you for your time. Sorry about last week. It wasn't me. I had trouble with the controlling the TV set at home. So it wasn't us. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for coming back. Enjoy your weekend. Bye for now.
Goodbye.